Welcome to Squat Talks. Tonight we're going to talk about home gyms. I don't know if you've ever seen that Louis C.K. bit where he says everything's awesome but nobody's happy. That's kind of how I feel about home gyms. Everything is awesome but nobody's happy. I go to Facebook groups on home gyms and nobody seems real satisfied with their gyms. But man, I'll tell you, if you're comparing the home gyms of yesteryear to the home gyms of today, man, home gyms of the modern age got the old times beat. So we're going to be talking about home gyms tonight. Before we get into that, you're going to be seeing me do a double here with 315. We are in 2022 and we've just started our 2022 squat challenge, 2022 squat 315 challenge. So if you're interested, please join us. There's a Facebook group. I try to keep an Instagram, and we'll post updates and see how people are doing. Right now I'm at a double with 315, and I'm hoping to maybe pump that up to a dozen or more by the end of 2022. If you want to join us, that'd be great. So like I said, everything's awesome, but nobody's happy, and I kind of feel that way about home gyms. If you were someone who grew up like me as a Gen Xer and you remember what gyms were like, not just home gyms, but gyms in general in the 70s and 80s, man, it's an amazing time that we live in. So when I was growing up, most people had some kind of, if they had anything at all, they probably had a bench and maybe some Weider barbells and exercise standard barbells, which are these 1-inch diameter barbells with kind of thinner plates. If they were lucky, they might have a squat stand, but it's unlikely. Notice this old one. It says it has 1,000-pound capacity. I don't know. This is one from the 70s from a magazine that I had. Notice that at the bottom it says shipped within 6 to 8 weeks, freight collect. I mean, it took a while for equipment to get to you back in the day, and you had to pay by money order usually or collect. I don't know how solid those are, but again, the ad says it supports 1,000 pounds, but you won't see someone slamming the barbell back into those supports. This is a weight set from Weider. I can't remember how much that is. I think it's $260 for a 310-pound weight set. So Franco was in that ad too, but yeah. Those are some Weider Olympic size weights. But yeah, back in the day, you'd be lucky to see a Weider weight set in the home, maybe a Bowflex in the 80s, but yeah, slim pickings back in those days. So this is my basement, and in my basement I have a 45-degree hyper I got from Titan. Also there's a training bag there and then some bands, and I have set up a pull-up bar that I kind of set up as well. And then here we're taking a look at my garage. The first piece of equipment that you see is a glute ham bench that I got probably 15 years ago for about $100 from New York Barbells. Nowadays, if you were to buy a glute ham bench, it's going to cost you 3 times that. It's really difficult to find a reasonably priced glute ham bench anymore. So if you are an equipment dealer, man, that's something to kind of think about. It's a body solid squat rack. I bought one of those, I don't know, again, about 10 to 15 years ago. It's actually been replaced. A friend gave me one after I busted the other one, but this one's held up really well. Took quite a bit of abuse. I have a weight tree over there I got from Played Again Sports, and there's all of my barbells. I have an assortment of barbells. I have a Rogue Ohio Power Bar. I have the cheap one that came with a 310 weight set. I have a beam bar from Rogue. Also, there's a Titan barbell that we'll talk about a little bit later. And then there's an Axle barbell with a 2-inch diameter bar. This is a squat rack. One of the most recent additions to my home gym is this blue squat rack you see here. It does the job. It was listed as having a 500-pound capacity, but in the manual it says 300 pounds. So I don't know who to believe on that. I'm pretty sure it can handle well over 315, but I haven't really tested it. You'll see an Amazon Basics weight bench that I picked up on Coop's recommendation from Garage Gym Reviews. And then there's a Rogue, sorry, it's not Rogue, it's actually an IKEA little cart there that I wrote Rogue on. So it was kind of my idea of a joke. There you'll see my powerlifting weight belt that I bought from Gen many years ago. It's a 13mm belt. And then over there you can see some carabiners and some nylon runners that I used to attach things to sleds, etc. Over here you'll see an interval timer that I picked up on Amazon a few years ago. I use that for circuit training. I use it for my kettlebell work. You can set the timer to do intervals, or you can have it count down or count up. It goes up to 100 minutes, so I have had some things that lasted more than 100 minutes, and if that's what you're doing, it could be a bit of a problem. Also, you'll see some harnesses for pulling the sleds. They're pretty dusty because I don't use them that often. And then there's a manta ray, a blue manta ray there you can kind of see in that mess. Over here we're circling back to see the chains on the ground that I use to attach to the barbells, and then also a 24-kilogram kettlebell, and then there's an assortment of kettlebells over there next to the lawnmower, and there's a step-up bench there that's adjustable. It's not easily adjustable because it's kind of a cheaper version there, and then a slant board that I use usually when I'm doing stretches or also for Bulgarian split squats. There's a prowler. It's a knockoff prowler, and then there's some adjustable dumbbells. The adjustable dumbbells are actually the first piece of equipment that I ever bought, and I bought those from Iron Mind many years ago. They're husky handle dumbbells. So here, this is something I think a lot of people don't really understand, is the difference between a squat stand and a power rack. So again, a squat stand is just two supports, and a rack or a cage, a power rack or a cage has 4 pillars. So if you are building your own gym, this is probably the first piece of equipment I'd recommend you. It's this $180 Synergy squat stand rack. It's got the safeties there that come with the unit. It has a 500-pound capacity. Again, I think that's going to be enough for most gym goers. So if you yourself are looking for equipment, that's what I would suggest you maybe pick up. This is probably the best deal I've ever found on Amazon. It's this Titan Fitness Olympic barbell. It's a 30mm diameter bar, so it's not thick, but it's a little thicker than some barbells. And the knurling is solid. So, man, it's a good deal. $80 for a 1,000-pound capacity bar. I picked up one of these. I did have to kind of relube the sleeves, but it's a great barbell. Also, on Garage Gym Reviews recommendation, this Amazon Basics flat bench. Right now on Amazon it's $82 and change. I'm using it now. Bought it over Christmas for my son to do bench press, and it's pretty solid. It's a little high up, so if you have really short legs you might find it to be a tad high, but probably for most people, unless you're under 5'5", you're probably not going to have a problem. Also, for your home gym, you're probably going to need some bands. Bands are useful for stretching. They're useful for a variety of exercises. Pick up some bands from Elite Fitness, Elite FTS, the company Dave Tate owns. It's amazing. I use them for all kinds of things. I have many different kinds of bands, and I use them for all things. So the specials over Black Friday, can't beat that, so definitely look into getting some bands from Elite FTS. You're going to need some plates for your home gym. $2 a pound, I think, is kind of what you're looking at or more. So you're going to have to budget for that a little bit. And if you're wanting calibrated plates, if you're wanting nicer plates, the sky's the limit on those. But $2 a plate and up. So definitely budget accordingly. This last piece for your home gym is the flooring, and depending on where you are, I don't know if you're going to need flooring, but anybody who knows much about home gyms is going to tell you, don't buy those jigsaw puzzle pieces for matting. Those things don't last. Stall mats that you buy at a Tractor Supply company or a Fleet Farm, I think is where I did this screenshot. That's your go-to. And these are 4x6 foot stall mats. They'll last you forever. They do smell a little bit, so you're probably going to want to leave them outside for a while just to air them out, maybe a few days, maybe even a week. But you know, after that smell does dissipate after time and use. So, but yeah, definitely look into the stall mats. I hope that's helpful. I hope you enjoyed the tour of my own home gym, and I hope that maybe gives you some ideas for your own. If you have any thoughts, if you have any questions, if you have any opinions on home gyms, please share them below, and like and subscribe to Squat Talks, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.